McFlitter, the Champion Knitter, and this is written by a New Zealand author, Heather Haylock. Granny McFlitter made bright knitted socks, mittens and jumpers and cardies with spots. Her family grumbled their drawers wouldn't close. Their basements were flooded with hand-knitted clothes. "Enough!" they all shouted. "Enough knitted knickers. No more scratchy stockings and lumpy wool slippers." But did Granny stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting, like it or not. Who would have thought she could knit up a squid or a polka-dot stingray? But that's what she did. Fly swats and cricket sets, curlicued hats, scarecrows and bird baths and bonnets for bats. Her family was worried. Her mind must be slipping. She's making no sense with this ludicrous knitting. But did Granny stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting, like it or not. One night she sat happily sipping her tea and watching the news on her knitted TV. "Oh no!" cried the newsreader. "How can this be? A ship's run aground and spilled oil in the sea." The camera zoomed over the sea to the land, to a sad little penguin washed up on the sand. He was covered with oil. He was blacker than soot, from the top of his head to the tip of his foot. "We're washing the penguins," a vet said on screen, "but they'll go all shivery after they're clean." "I know what to do." Granny leapt in the air, then reached for her knitting bag under the chair. Her needles went flying, her wool was a whir, her fingers were whizzing a dizzying blur. Before you could say 99 nutty knitters, she made a penguin pyjamas with armholes for flippers. But did Granny stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting, like it or not. She knitted that evening and right through the night. Next morning she gazed at a breathtaking sight. Piles of pyjamas were stacked on the floor, jumpers and jackets heaped right to the door, some dotty, some spotty, some zigzagged and striped, some muted in pastels, some shockingly bright. Granny raced to the beach and she helped all the vets to capture the penguins in hand-knitted nets. She cleaned up a penguin and she carefully chose a frilly green jumper with flowers in rows. The penguin was cosy, the vets were relieved. Your coats and your jumpers are just what we need. They gathered the penguins and dressed them in style. There were warm, happy penguins for mile upon mile. But did Granny stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting, like it or not. Now she is helping the vets in the zoo. She knits for the creatures with sniffles and flu. Long scarves for giraffes with sore throats and the snuffles, and hats for the wombats with whiffleless waffles. Warm pants for the monkeys with holes for their tails, soft tissue for turkeys, and hankies for whales. The penguins are happy now down at the shore. They don't need their jumpers and coats any more. New feathers have grown from their toes to their bills in waterproof layers to keep out the chills. But did Granny stop knitting? Oh no, she did not. She kept right on knitting. Like it or not. Granny McFlitter, the champion knitter.